All right, hey, Gary here from the Bike Cave, and today I'm going to be covering a D-bike setup for bikejoring, or whatever you call it. But anyways, how do you set up the bike so that you can enjoy the time with your dog and have all the right equipment? So what I did is I actually purchased everything from Non-Stop Dogwear. And what it consists of is you have an antenna. And what this does, it's got a little loop there in the end. But what happens is, see that right there? That goes around your stem of your forks. So this is actually mounted to the frame. This, in my opinion, is the most important part. You can use other leashes, you can use other harnesses, but this antenna, what I've found, I've tried many of them. This is by far the best one. I've actually been using this for about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. And I've broken a couple of them. What happens is when the dog goes right or left, occasionally this right here weakens. And then on my first one, these stripped out. So this is my third one. And I can tell you if this broke tomorrow, I would have a new one ordered before I got back home. So that's how important this piece here is to me. The next thing you need is a good quality harness. And when I first started, I was looking for a harness that would encourage my dog to pull. And this one actually is for dog sledding, and it actually is quite useful, and it doesn't seem to hurt the dog. Matter of fact, he's over in the corner salivating, thinking we're going to go riding. So a good harness is a must. The next thing you need that comes with the kit is, this is labeled as a 9-foot bungee leash, and you can see it has some play in it. This is also a critical component in this whole setup. So to make sure you can do it and enjoy your time with your dog, you need to have the antenna, whether you make one, but I highly recommend buying this one, a bungee leash, and a harness. The reason for the bungee leash is there's times where your dog pulls and you want to be able to absorb that and have it not be so abrupt, and because that'll slow him down, and this gives us both a chance to feel each other's movements when we're riding. Okay, so let's get into actually how to set this up on the bike. Start with the what I feel is the number one component in this whole setup. Besides a dog, you need this antenna. And we're going to go through setting this up. And to set this up, you need just the Allen key that fits this component here, plus the one on your stem and handlebars. So you'll need to adjust those things. So let's go ahead and get started and take that off. What I have here, I use these things for everything. This park tool, it's got multiple Allen wrenches. With this one tool, I can take apart almost 90% of my bike. So these come in super handy. I'm going to set down the antenna and get some things started here. So the first thing you want to do is this stem. There's a screw in the top of this stem. You just want to unscrew this, go counterclockwise, and take the screw off. And we're going to set that to the side. Okay. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to loosen up my handlebars. This connects my handlebars to the stem from going right and left. So I'm going to loosen that up by these 2 screws here on the left. Loosen that up. Okay. Got the top one. There's one more over here on this side. We're going to loosen that one up. Couple turns there. So now the next thing, my handlebars are completely free of the bike. So let's go ahead and we're going to take the handlebars and we're going to turn them and just kind of get the handlebars to come off the stem. Once they're free, you're going to see the wheel come loose. Okay, so there you can see my handlebars are free. So the next thing in my setup is I have a spacer here. So I'm going to take this spacer off, going to put it to the side, and then I'm going to grab my antenna, because you can see the width of that that part that attaches to the antenna. It's going to go right around the stem. So what I want to do, and I've done this a few times and I've obviously done it wrong. So what I want to do is I want to feed this stem through my cables there so they don't get in the way. And I'm gonna let go of the handlebars for a minute. And I'm gonna slide this antenna right down on my stem. You can see that? And then I can slide this right back on top. Okay, so that's only one piece of it. Now you can see my wheel and everything's all wonga. So we gotta get everything straightened out and we gotta get this snugged down. What some people will notice, if you were to have your bike in a kind of a bike stand that holds it up like the one over here, I use that a lot for maintenance, but that doesn't help. I need gravity to help me out when putting this back on, because otherwise if I leave my wheel hanging and try and do this, when I go ride, I'm gonna notice a little bit of play in between the stem and this whole setup here. So I wanna get everything snug. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my Park Tool AWS 1, which covers mostly everything. It's basically a 4, 5, and 6 Allen wrench. So I'm going to just, with my foot here, get my wheel straight. I'm going to swing around the antenna. Antenna is such a, I don't know, it's what they called it, so it's what I call it. But if you go search on antenna on Amazon or wherever, so I'm going to try and get my wheel lined up with my handlebars. Inevitably, I'm going to have to adjust this once I go for a ride, because if it's off just slightly, it bothers me mentally. So first thing I'm going to do, the handlebar is still loose. The antenna is still loose. I'm going to start with putting back in the screw in the top of the stem. And what this does is it actually will suck the handlebars, well, it'll suck the forks up into the frame. So you want to tighten this, but you don't want to crank it down. So you need it to be snug, but not super tight. I mean, snug and tight, but not to where you need a big strong dude to pull it off. So again, we're just trying to pull the handlebars up, get it to, I'm sure there's a torque value for this, but I got a calibrated torque right there. So we made that snug, so now there shouldn't be any play. If there is, later on when I'm riding, I'll just simply stop, loosen up these sides, tighten maybe half a turn, then tighten them back up. All right, so now I'm going to tighten this antenna down by, there's a screw over here on this side. I'm going to tighten that down. I think it is this one here. Yep. We're just going to make that nice and snug. Again, you don't need to torque it down so tight, because you don't want to strip these things out. So I give it you know, a good turn, make it nice and snug. It would help if you wanted to, you could use a little Loctite on these. I don't. I carry this tool with me when I go riding, so if I need to do any adjustments, I just do them right there on the fly. So now I'm tightening the handlebars on because they look pretty straight. All right, there's that side. I'm gonna flip around to this side and do the same thing over here. It helps if I use the right one. And we're gonna tighten that up. And notice this side's hitting the handlebars and it didn't hit on the other side. That's because one side's lower, so I could go get a different tool, a different size number 4 Allen key, but we got it snug. All right, so there we have the handlebars and the antenna installed. Okay, let me show you how you put on the leash now. Okay, now let's go ahead and install the leash. So how do we get the leash on here? So the leash, the bungee part is a must-have. Gotta have a bungee leaf. But what I would ask the manufacturer, Nonstop Dogwear, or whomever designs these leashes, is the way that you install it on the bike is not my ideal method. So you can see here, this is well used, but all you do is you're going to take this, the open end of the leash where you would normally grab your hand, And I just thought of something. Maybe they designed this leash to go on the stem around there, and it wasn't really for a handle. I just assumed it was a handle for a dog leash, but I can see now I could take this. No, that wouldn't work. There's not enough room there. So the way it came in the instructions is I'm going to take the leash around my handlebars, and I'm just going to do a loop through. So I'm going to loop through that handle there, through that, take the clip through there, and then it's just a little slip knot, and then that goes right there, like so. So you can see here, what I wish was different about this is I wish there was maybe like 2 of these clamps on each end, and it somehow connected itself to the antenna. You know, maybe something like that. That would be a better setup. But this worked for us. And the next thing we do is we simply take this, and I usually go from underneath, and I just loop it through the end of the antenna. Now, you have to understand, people are going to ask you all the time when you're riding, what is that thing on the end on the front of your bike? Because it doesn't look, no one's ever seen this kind of stuff here in the Northwest. The Pacific Northwest, so Western Washington. Now maybe on the east side where there's snow and dog sledding, they've seen it, but here in the west side, no one's seen this. So what I do when I don't have my dog and I just want to ride is I take this antenna and this leash and I loop it under my handlebar, and then I just come up here and I go around 2 times, and then I lock it in here. So when I go riding with my friends, this is my setup. And people wonder, is this going to hit you? What's going to happen? So this will float around when I'm riding, but it's no big deal to me. It's less effort than if I take it off when I go riding without my buddy, my dog. So that's the antenna setup and the leash setup. Simple. You should be able to do this in, less than a half hour. And for me, all I needed was a number 4 Allen key. So that got everything done for me. Let's go on and talk about how we put the harness on the dog. All right, so now let's talk about the most important piece of this whole Bikejoring, D-bike stuff that I'm doing. And that is, you need a quality dog. Just so happens I have one, and he's highly trained, highly trained. All right, anybody want to go riding? Come here, Jay, let's go riding. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yes, you're happy, aren't you? Here's JJ. He's my yellow lab. As you can see, he's yellow. He's a bit nervous. He's never been on camera before. Well, he doesn't know he's never been on camera. But let's talk about the dog harness. Here we go. We got nonstop dog harness. You can see JJ is getting excited. So anybody out there that says I'm abusing my dog, you're wrong. I'm abusing him by what I'm about to do to him. I'm making this video. We're going to put the harness on, and then we're going to take it off, and he's going to be very confused. I might have to just go run him around the block one time at least so he can get some, so he doesn't think he got gypped. All right, so what I do is when I got this harness, there weren't any instructions. So like how to set it up, anything. So I kind of had to figure it out, and it helps that I have a really smart partner here. Okay, so what I do is this harness, I always take this, and you see that flag there? Get a little close up. That flag, I have that flag point towards me, and then I ask JJ to come in here and sit. And then, so this flag, the reason it's important, the diamond right underneath it that's where I'm going to ask him to put his head. And when I say ask, I don't need to ask him. He already knows what's going to happen. So I just kind of open it up like this, and then I take this and I slide it over his head. That's step 1. Okay, so now we have the flag right there, and then we have the harness almost on. So next thing we got to do is see that? I didn't ask him. He already knows what needs to happen. We're not doing a shake. What we're doing is we're preparing to run. So we take that foot and we just tuck it in there. Now we put that one down. Sit. Give me the other one. No, we already did that one. We need to do the other one. And then we put that in. Okay, so now we have the harness on him. So the next step is we got a couple straps on here. and he's getting anxious. You can see one right here. There's a clip right here, and what I do, you just push that through and kind of get it snug, and you'll adjust this and learn how it fits your dog, but this is what we do. Take this, get the other side, and now we are ready to ride, and that's it. That's how you get the harness on him. It helps to have a very highly trained dog, but he's not really a dog. He thinks he's a person. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna have to take this dog around the block, because the next thing you do is I get on the bike, and this last part here is I just hook that leash right to there, and away we go. Thanks for watching. All the links to all this equipment are down below. Please like the video, and if you have suggestions of ways of different doing things with this bike setup, love to hear them. Good or bad, I don't mind, because it's only going to help me get better and my partner get better. So we love riding, and stay tuned. That was 3 minutes. I think we're good. All right, here like I said, in the garage, we can't put this stuff on him and not take him for a quick run. So we're gonna go around the block probably 4 or 5 times just to get him at least a couple miles. So what I do is I just unhook my leash here, and so then I have it hanging, and then I call my partner over, JJ, here, like that. I just grab the end there, and then I plug that in, and that's it. And then since it's night, I'm gonna turn on my light here, and it's that easy. Let's go.